In the year 1960, a young and charismatic leader named John F. Kennedy emerged victorious in the United States presidential election. His campaign had captured the imagination and hopes of the American people. With his famous quote, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country," Kennedy inspired a generation of work towards a better future. As the youngest president at the time, his election marked the beginning of a new era known as the Camelot years, filled with ambition, challenges, and dreams of progress for the nation. In 1961, President John F. Kennedy brought forth the establishment of the Peace Corps, an initiative aimed at promoting peace, friendship, and understanding between the United States and other nations. The Peace Corps sought to deploy American volunteers, young men and women, to work in various countries on projects related to education, health, agriculture, and community development. This organization continues to be a symbol of international cooperation and cultural exchange, reflecting America's commitment to global citizenship and humanitarian aid. The year 1962 witnessed one of the most tense and dangerous moments of the Cold War, known as the Cuban Missile Crisis. The United States discovered that the Soviet Union was secretly installing nuclear missiles in Cuba, just a stone's throw away from American soil. This development sparked a high-stakes confrontation, bringing the world to the brink of nuclear war. Fortunately, through intense diplomatic efforts and back-channel negotiations, both nations eventually stepped back from the abyss, and the crisis was resolved peacefully. It remains a pivotal event in history, reminding us of the fertility of global politics and the urgent need for dialogue and understanding. In the summer of 1963, an iconic event took place in Washington, D.C., the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. More than 200,000 people of all races and backgrounds gathered to advocate for civil rights and equal treatment for African Americans. The march culminated with Martin Luther King Jr.'s powerful "I Have a Dream" speech, which resonated across the nation and became a symbol of hope and unity in the struggle against racial segregation and injustice. In 1964, the British invasion took the United States by storm as four young lads from Liverpool, known as the Beatles, landed on American soil. With their infectious music and charm, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr captured the hearts of millions, igniting Beatlemania across the nation. Their appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show marked a turning point in music history, ushering in a new era of rock and roll and leaving an indelible mark on popular culture. The year 1965 brought a significant turning point in the fight for civil rights in the United States. President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act into law, prohibiting racial discrimination in voting practices. This landmark legislation aimed to remove barriers that had long suppressed the voting rights of African Americans and other minority groups. The act had a profound impact, paving the way for increased political participation and representation for marginalized communities across the country. In 1966, Muhammad Ali, the world-renowned boxer and cultural icon, took a courageous stand against the Vietnam War. He declared himself a conscientious objector, refusing to be drafted into the military due to his religious beliefs and opposition to the war. This decision led to significant backlash and a temporary ban from boxing, but it also solidified Ali as a symbol of resistance, inspiring a generation to question the role of athletes and public figures in social and political movements. In 1967, sports history was made as the first Super Bowl took place, merging the National Football League, or NFL, with the American Football League, or AFL, into an ultimate championship game. The Green Bay Packers faced off against the Kansas City Chiefs, with the Packers emerging victorious. The Super Bowl has since become an annual spectacle, transcending sports to become a cultural event with millions of viewers worldwide. Tragically, in 1968, the nation faced another devastating loss when Senator Robert F. Kennedy, a prominent civil rights advocate and presidential candidate, was assassinated in Los Angeles. His death deeply impacted the nation, robbing America of a potential leader whose vision and passion for social justice resonated with millions. The loss of both Kennedy brothers, John and Robert, within a few years of each other, left a profound void in the hearts of many who had hoped for a brighter future. In the year 1969, a defining moment in human history occurred when NASA's Apollo 11 mission successfully landed astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin on the moon. With the iconic phrase, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," Neil Armstrong became the first person to set foot on the lunar surface. The achievement of landing on the moon not only showcased the incredible progress of space exploration, but also unified humanity in a shared sense of wonder and aspiration for the boundless possibilities that lay beyond our planet.